Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to remove your spring or your spring keepers on your valves, and I'm going to show you how to install it the easy way, also the correct way. Let me see if I can get this camera set up. I don't have any fancy camera stuff or whatever you want to call them, holders or whatever. I have a vise and my phone fits in it. Alright, so we're going to take off the valve. You're going to need one of these tools. I don't know if you've seen one of these guys before. It's just like a vise, and it has these attachments that will allow the piston and the keepers to come out because they have those slits in them. So let's install it. This is very easy, and the tool is extremely cheap. I think I bought it for like 37 bucks. Nothing intimidating about this. Alright. Of course, make sure that whatever valve you're grabbing, you have the correct size. So for example, this toolbox or this toolkit came with a bunch of different sizes, and they don't have to be perfect. I know that this works for my setup, so we're gonna go ahead and install this. Oh, I think I got it backwards. I sure do. So now that I have it nice and snug, I'm going to check both sides. It really sucks I have to keep removing this foam. So we want to make sure that it's, I'm on the wrong valve. We want to make sure that it's centered on that valve washer. And we also want to make sure, excuse the mess, that is holding that valve. I know that's not perfect, but all we need is just a little bit of pressure on it, because we want to release the spring and get those spring retainers. So let's get going. All right. I wish I can give you guys a better angle. This is as good as I get because I need both of my hands. So all we're gonna do is apply compression by tightening it. And just to show you guys, if you look at the keepers, so those are the little keepers, that's what we want out. And when you compress that spring, they slowly start to show. So I'm going to compress it some more, so that way we can just use the magnet to pull it out. Yeah, this vise is not made for phones. Push it too hard, I'll break my phone. Alright. So this screwdriver here, I magnetized it You can use a little magnet if you'd like, but this is better for me. It's got a point to it, and I can come down here. Well, if it would pick up, here we go. So we grab one, don't lose those. If you lose them, you're gonna have a nightmare. Maybe not a nightmare, but maybe a heart attack, because you gotta wait for the new ones to come, or you gotta order new parts. So now that we got that out, I'm gonna set the phone back in here. Now I can release the tension by unscrewing this clamp, whatever you want to call it, vise. We're gonna screw it. These are pretty cool, quick disconnects. We can pull this out, pull the spring and the washer, there they are. Now we just push on the valve and it comes from the bottom. Now all I'm going to do, I'm not going to do any deep cleaning on this. I'm simply going to get rid of the carbon. And what I found is probably not the greatest method, but what I found was, if you get this, I'm not sponsored by this, I don't know anything about it, this is the first time actually trying it out. This is carpet cleaner, gum out. And what I do is, I spray a little bit of carb on here, then I set it in a bowl, and I take, this is important, I take my copper brush, copper, not aluminum, copper, because we do not want to damage. We don't want to put too many dents in here or take too much material off. And this is all I'm going to do to it to get some of that carbon out. And you can see here from my previous work, that was clear. That's all carbon that I took off my valves. So what I'm going to do here is just clean this off. Make sure before you install your valve, I have some engine oil here that I put in the cap. I'm going to take some engine oil and put it on my valve. Make sure it's nice and lubed. There is a very small guide that you do not want to ruin. So you put the lube on here, on the valve, and then you slowly stick it in. That's what she said. I shouldn't have said that. Alright, now that we have the valve in, we're going to grab our spring and our washer. We're going to put them in. This is the part that you're probably wanting, is how to put these little annoying keepers in. And what I like to do is I grab this washer or retainer, whatever you want to call it. My nomenclature is probably not the greatest, but I can show you how it's done. You grab the keepers and you place them in this washer. So it's going to look like this. See, both of the keepers are in here. Now we're going to grab this and put it back on our spring. And believe me, if you use the tool to install these keepers, you are gonna lose your mind, because these are extremely tiny. I've done it before, but it's not an easy process. This is the easiest way and the best way. You grab yourself a piece of plastic bag. You put it right on top of the spring. And here we're gonna use the installation tool, or if you do not have an installation tool and you used any other methods I don't want to know about, hopefully you didn't damage your head, you can use an extension on a socket. And I'm gonna take my installation tool. So just if you were using a socket, this would be where the socket is, and this would be the extension. And then you're gonna take this and you're gonna put it over your valve. You're gonna take your left hand and put it on the valve from the other side, and then you're just gonna take it and press. Okay, it doesn't always work. Alright, so this time it jumped out. It's probably because my plastic bag is a little worn. I've used it for multiple valves. So we're going to try this one more time, and hopefully I impress you. You're going to take this, put it back on, hold the valve, put the installation tool or the removing tool, and then maybe I should get a different piece of plastic. Let's not use plastic. Let's use this piece of cardboard here. Maybe this will help out a little. We're gonna cover it up. If I had more plastic, I would use plastic. It's easier to see because it's see-through. And then what I'm gonna do is hold it and press. Oh. Of course it's gonna fail when I'm trying to show it to people. I just did what I didn't want you guys to do. It would really suck if I had to reshoot this video. I should have stuck with the plastic. All right, here we go, we got it. So the reason I was doing all that is because I had one of the keepers stuck in there, and now we can try it again and hope for the best. I tell you what, the first 2 times I've done this, it worked like magic. But I think it's because I'm trying to show others it did not work. Okay, we're going to try again. We're going to try again. We're going to use the plastic again this time. Put the plastic on. Grab my installation tool. And pop. Look at that. I did this one, it worked the first time. I did this one, it worked the first time. You can see how clean it is. I did this one in front of you guys, and I've struggled. But this is the easiest way. If you were to use this tool, this clamp, you would be sitting there trying to put those keepers in with either a little screwdriver or some picks. And it sounds like it could be easier, but having no space with this tool in the way and you trying to work these little keepers in here is not fun. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope I did not disappoint. Would have been better if it worked the first time, but life is not easy. We just make it simpler.